Is your podcast setup in need of a bit of a refresh? Whether you're recording in a professional studio or setting up on the go, I've got the ultimate gear guide that is going to take your podcast production to the next level in the new year. In this video, we're going to be diving into the ultimate shopping list that is going to give your podcast studio a serious upgrade. From essential audio gear to cutting-edge video equipment and AI-powered editing tools, these upgrades will make your podcast truly stand out. All right, let's start with one of the most important pieces of gear that any podcaster needs, a microphone. And my pick for you all is the USB version of the microphone I'm using right here, the Rode PodMic USB. This microphone is all about versatility. It features a USB-C connection as well as an XLR connection, meaning that regardless of your setup, you can use this microphone straight out of the box. One of the neat functions of the Rode PodMic USB is that it features digital signal processing built right into the microphone, meaning that when you connect it via USB-C to your computer, you're going to get cleaner and clearer audio without any need for additional hardware, filters, or effects. It's the perfect microphone if you've been looking to upgrade from that original starter mic that you started your podcast with, but you don't want to invest a ton of cash in a more expensive microphone. I do suggest that with this microphone that you invest in a solid stand. And well, for me, I like the Rode PSA-1. This stand is very solid when compared to cheaper boom arms. Wherever you move your mic to, it stays put. I also love the fact that you have the option to either permanently mount the stand to a desk or rely on the provided desk clamp. Yes, there are cheaper options out there, but to be perfectly honest with you, it is worth investing in a solid mic stand just for the simple fact that you don't want to be adjusting this thing while you're recording your podcast in mid-sentence. It's not fun. Seriously, it's not fun. Now let's talk about another crucial part of your audio setup, the interface. Maybe you want to upgrade from that USB microphone to a proper interface that has all the bells and whistles and filters and processing, but you really don't want to be stuck with the sticker shock that goes along with it. If that's the case, that's where the Focusrite Vocaster 2 shines. This little interface is a powerhouse for podcasters. With 70 decibels of gain on its XLR inputs, even gain-hungry microphones sound clear without extra preamps. Plus, its auto gain feature sets the perfect level automatically so you're ready to record in seconds. Connectivity and processing is really where the Vocaster 2, though, separates itself from other interfaces like the Focusrite Scarlett series. Dual XLR inputs for you and a guest, USB-C out, 1/8 inch camera out for syncing audio to video, phantom power, 1/4 inch headphone outputs for host guests and monitor outputs mean you're covered no matter your setup. The Vocaster Hub app is a great companion app for this interface. You can control and adjust your interface all from within the app, as well as enable voice enhancement features with built-in presets. I'll be honest with you all, when I originally saw the Vocaster 2, I thought that this was the quote-unquote podcast version of the Scarlett 2i2. But when you really take a look at the list of connectivity options you have and the processing power that's there to get you and your guests sounding just right for your podcast, this really is a fantastic little device that can give you the power you need on a budget. Now, we know that podcasting while traveling can be a little tough. You don't want to be lugging around bags full of gear and spending tons of time during setup. And for that point, for travel podcast gear, I suggest that you look at the Zoom PodTrak P4 or the Shure MVX2U. The PodTrak P4 is a literal Swiss Army knife for podcasting. It has everything you need for recording multiple guests on the go, including 4 XLR inputs with individual controls. Its compact design means it fits easily into any travel bag, and its intuitive controls make setup a breeze. With the PodTrak P4, you're getting reliable audio quality without sacrificing portability. The Shure MVX2U looks like something out of a James Bond movie. A tiny interface that turns any XLR microphone into a USB device, allowing you to connect it to any manner of mobile devices, be it your laptop or your phone, and record high-quality audio on the go. If you travel at all for your podcast, be it to conferences, conventions, or just down to the local coffee shop to do an interview, you need to have this little device in your bag. It's essential. Okay, video podcasters, let's talk about video gear. Now, while you can absolutely use something like, well, your phone to record your video podcast, as well as some, cheap lights. It is worth investing in some proper gear if you're going to take your video podcast seriously. As for cameras, I absolutely love the OBSBOT Tiny2 4K. It's what I'm recording this video on right now. I upgraded to this camera earlier this year, and it has fundamentally changed the look and feel of my video podcast. This camera's 4K sensor packs a punch visually and includes a really snappy motion tracking function, along with a fully featured app that gives you control of everything from exposure, color temperature, and even native video effects of the camera. OBSBOT also introduced a ton of additional cameras that really fit any budget level, including the Tiny 4K Lite, which is a bit cheaper, the 4K Meet camera, if you don't need motion tracking, and the powerhouse that is the Tail Air. So there are plenty of options out there to get the best image for your video podcast. Of course, great visuals are more than just the camera that you choose. You need some proper lights as well, and there are a ton of options out there. But for a proper key light that's going to light your face well for your video podcast, I like the combination of the Amaran 60D paired with the Aputure Lantern Softbox. The 60D's small form factor is a great choice if you're podcasting from a place where you don't have a ton of space to rig large lights. The lantern style softbox does a great job of spreading the light evenly and diffusing it across the face, which is just overall pleasing for a video podcast. Obviously, look at your individual space when judging whether or not you need this light, because you may need some additional things like light stands or super clamps. Now, let's say you are trying to do a video podcast in a proper studio with multiple cameras. How do you control and manage audio, video, and graphics all within one device? Well, up until recently, there really wasn't an option. That is until the RODECaster Video was released. This device is quite insane when it comes to what it actually can do. Out of the box, this can act as a regular multicam switcher and recorder for your video podcast, but it also features a ton of extras, including the ability to build scenes within Rode Central, playback video clips on a dime, record isolated video and multi-channel audio, and most impressively for podcasters, enable automatic switching based on the mic source. Yes, you heard that right. Built-in auto switching. Is it a bit overkill? Maybe, but if you've been looking for an all-in-one solution that can control, record, and switch your high-end video podcast production, you really can't go wrong with the RODECaster Video. Hardware is great and all, but new things can be added to our digital tools, and the name of the game here is AI. AutoPod and AutoCut are two AI-driven editing tools that can save you hours of editing time. If you're working with multiple camera angles, AutoPod and AutoCut quickly cuts between them based on who's speaking, giving you a smooth professional edit in a fraction of the time. Both AutoPod and AutoCut also remove silences as well as can resize videos for social media. AutoCut has a few additional features that are interesting, like the ability to add in royalty-free B-roll, quickly create AI YouTube chapters, and even automatically bleep out profanity. It is worth noting that both of these tools are extensions for both Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve. So you do need to be editing within those programs to take advantage of these functions. Now, AI isn't just relegated to the video world. Audio-only podcasters can take advantage of AI to help clean up and enhance their recordings. There are tons of VST plugins out there at various price points, but my pick for audio cleanup and sweetening is Crumple Pop by Boris Effects. This pack of plugins works across audio and video platforms, and it's packed with features to enhance and repair your podcast audio. Some notable plugins with this pack include AI-powered denoise, plosive, clip and echo removal, and even voice enhancement. Now, I've used the pop remover function within Crumple Pop to remove plosives within my podcast audio, and let me tell you something, it really does work. What used to take me hours of manually finding plosives within Adobe Audition and using the FFT filter now can be done in minutes. It's worth noting that these plugins do add a bit of processing time to your audio projects, okay? Keep in mind, we're working with files that are sometimes an hour plus long. And on top of that, you want to be careful about how much you push and pull on these plugins. The last thing you want to do is introduce a bunch of artifacts and nastiness to your recordings that really kind of defeats the purpose of doing the cleanup and enhancement in the first place. So which of these upgrades are you excited to try? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're looking for more ways to enhance your podcast and really make it stand above the rest, do me a favor and check out this video.